Marshall's Secured by Design protective street furniture enables highly effective security solutions to blend seamlessly into urban landscapes. Marshall's will discuss how the right levels of protection can be installed without making the risk visible to the public. Following the session, you'll be prompted to join the live Q&A.
Let's face it, terrorists are not going away anytime soon, and they will not stop using vehicles as weapons. Part of the reason they use this method is because they know it will grab vast levels of attention in newspapers, on television and via social media. People with evil intent see acts like that as free marketing, and unfortunately attacks are occurring more frequently around the globe. It is incredibly important to marshals that public spaces are made safe invisibly through aesthetic design rather than obtrusive over-fortification, and that we are recognised as the go-to source to enable this. We really care about the built environment and of course the people within it. For over 130 years, Marshalls has been manufacturing products that create better spaces. Over these years, we have paved every town in the UK. Our focus is on creating public spaces that are safe, harmonious and inviting. Frankly, we are aggrieved when these spaces start to look overly fortified, therefore instilling fear in the people that use them. As well as affecting their own personal well-being, this has a detrimental effect on local businesses too. In our opinion, the aesthetics and ergonomics of protective products are as important as our ability to stop oncoming vehicles. The challenge for designers is to incorporate the appropriate level of protection, whilst not compromising the aesthetic or function of public spaces. The built environment needs to be a place where people can always feel safe, not scared. It's of utmost importance to specify products that are crash rated to the correct standards. This should never be compromised for any reason. The industry should never let confidence in it or its product slip. Different products and standards will apply depending on whether the specifier is trying to defend, deflect or deter vehicles in a public realm. Insufficient budgets or deficient technical knowledge should not be a reason for incorrect specification. It's essential that qualified expertise is deployed in order to determine the right product for each location, because mitigation levels vary considerably from site to site. Similarly, over-specification on sites is an issue too, as client budgets have to be respected. Why specify a heavy-duty IWA 14-1 product on projects where only a PAS 170 product is required? As important as specifying the right product for the right location is installing it correctly too. In this industry, we have often seen product installations falling short of the exacting standards that they were tested to. The three essential factors for our product design process are ascertaining risk levels, determining aesthetics, and complying with the installation requirements. Ascertaining risk levels correctly enables the appropriate mitigation to be specified. This can be achieved by carrying out a vehicle dynamic assessment, which will establish where the hotspots are and ascertain the maximum speeds the different types of vehicles can reach. It's also important to understand ground constraints, service clashes, and depth issues, so a topographical drawing can be developed to highlight where the utilities are. In order to determine the correct foundation depth, it's recommended that a ground radar survey and/or trial pits are completed. Determining aesthetics is all about ensuring that the mitigation product selected blend naturally into their landscape. We're all used to seeing street furniture in our most frequented public spaces, therefore it makes perfect sense for these products to have a dual purpose, which also reduces visual clutter. As well as offering landscape protection products and metals, we also believe that materiality is important. We offer a range of products manufactured from natural stone, timber, ferrocast and concrete. Compliant installation is important from the outset. We always insist on tested products being installed the same way as they were tested within the PAS 68, IWA 14.1 or PAS 170 standards. We've seen some installations in the market varying significantly from how they were tested. This could be dangerous and cause damage to the industry's reputation. Traditionally, there has been tension between installing hostile vehicle mitigation measures in public spaces and attractive protective street furniture design. We're seeing security consultants, designers, architects and specifiers from across the public and private sectors all ask the same question. How can we provide the right levels of protection for the public without making the risk visible? This is where Marshalls comes in, with our unique approach to manufacturing crash-tested, purpose-designed street furniture products. The reasons behind our approach are simple. Traditional utilitarian choices such as concrete blocks and metal barricades serve to make an area feel fortified that can have the potential to lead to a drop-off in visitor numbers and therefore can have a detrimental impact on local businesses. A key point for any organisation procuring protective measures is that simply opting for street furniture will not deliver the right levels of protection you need to stop a vehicle. Our RhinoGuard products are tested to the publicly available specification PAS 68 and International Workshop Agreement IWA 14.1, the industry specifications for measures used to assist in terrorism prevention. Accredited to the top level of these certifications, they are capable of stopping a 7.5 tonne vehicle travelling at 50 miles per hour. But not all areas of risk require such a high level of protection. Security products that are specifically designed to counter cars, vans and lorries travelling at lower speeds offer a more appropriate and cost-effective solution. A different standard, PAS 170, offers a testing standard for vehicles up to 2.5 tonnes travelling up to 10 or 20 miles per hour. Testing for each of our products follows two methods. Firstly, our engineers use finite element analysis, which is a computer modelling technique that replicates the complex dynamics of the real world, to make sure we deliver an accurate view of how the product will perform when subjected to impact. Each new product is then crash tested to ensure they stand up to the rigours of a range of possible impacts, irrespective of whether they're a permanent or temporary hostile vehicle mitigation solution. An example of a temporary hostile vehicle mitigation solution is our RhinoGuard Steel Gatekeeper. It's designed to protect places with temporary high footfall, such as Christmas markets, football grounds and events. Owing to its lightweight design, the system can be used as a temporary HVM measure, and its elements can be quickly and easily removed, allowing access for emergency services vehicles. Similar to our permanent street furniture products, this is also certified to IWA 14.1 standards and offers protection against vehicles weighing up to 2.5 tonnes, travelling at 30 miles per hour without the intimidating knock-on effects that other measures provide. And if you're worried about just taking our word for it, why not take a look for yourself? The future's bright both for Marshalls landscape protection and the wider industry. It's clear that there's been a significant shift in recent years towards HVM products that fit seamlessly into and quite often enhance their surroundings. But continued innovation is key if the sector is to successfully meet client demands and tackle the evolving threat. One such example is our super shallow mount foundation range. This offers buyers an aesthetic solution for town and city centre pavements where underground utilities and telecoms infrastructure located close to the surface have previously made excavation work costly and disruptive. Let's take a look at our super shallow Mount Bollard, which is being crash tested to IWA 14 and can withstand a 7,200 kilogram N2 vehicle of 40 miles per hour. The range includes planters, seating, cycle shelters and bollards that require 100mm foundations, far less than the 150mm previously needed as a minimum. This ensures there's now no longer an excuse to install products that have a detrimental impact to a busy area's aesthetics. Our ultra-shallow 50 range requires just 50mm of excavation, which is the perfect solution for use on bridges and other areas where underground service and utilities affect installation. It's capable of withstanding a 7.2 tonne vehicle travelling at 30 miles per hour, and both the super shallow and ultra shallow core bollard elements can also be incorporated into our street furniture products. But I bet what you really want is to see it in action. We foresee more simple, effective and collaborative ways of enhancing and protecting the environment being used. We can work smarter, not harder, to create engineered solutions, like our planters, which are a great example of incorporating elements into any of our street furniture products. All this will help us to create spaces where people feel safe, not scared.
Super. I can see people joining already. Thank you very much of those to those of you who've joined already. 13 people in. We've only been open 20 seconds. So thank you very much indeed for joining us for these IFSEC Tech Talks today. We are continuing our conversations. Many of you will just have been watching a video from Marshalls talking about some of their background and some of their products. And I'm delighted that joining us now are Roger and Jazz down the line from sunny Warrington and what looks like from Jazz's background, sunny Coventry as well. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. While we're just waiting for some of our attendees to skip over from one side of the fence to the other side of the fence and join us, perhaps you can just give us the 10-mile view of what it is that Marshalls does and what it is you're here to talk about today.
Okay, so Marshalls is a FTSE 250 company. We've been in business for some 135 years. We're, I suppose, most well known for paving every town and city in the UK. Certainly in my time in Marshalls, we've paved Trafalgar Square 4 times. We've paved, by the way, every single location of the Monopoly board. And for the last 7 years, we've created crash-tested solutions which blend into our public realm, rather than stick out obtrusively. That's essentially what we're here to talk about.
Super. So let's dive straight in to those questions, and please do pop your questions in to the platform here, and give thumbs up as well to the questions, even if you don't have a question yourself. If there's a question you would definitely like to see promoted on that board, then do pop those in there. I do have a question straight away. Thank you very much indeed. What are the most common errors designers and consultants make when putting together a vehicle dynamic assessment as discussed in a presentation?
This one's definitely for Roger.
Okay, hello Roger, morning.
Thanks, Jazz. Yeah, I think the fundamental thing is that they don't carry them out at the beginning of the exercise. They think about them too late in the day. We recommend that it's the first thing they do to just understand the threat. Without it, it's very difficult to put commensurate measures in place without knowing what that threat's all about. So it's doing it first is, for me, I think, is probably the biggest error that's made. It seems to be thought about maybe later in the day. And for us, it's that critical first step.
Talk to me about third-party certifications. You know, it's not an area that I'm super familiar with, but are your products certified by any third parties? Are there any certifications? And, you know, how, if there are, how important is that in your industry?
So, yeah, again, I'll take this one, Jazz. We have an industry standard that started back in 2005 for the UK, when we started working on PAS 68, which is an industry crash test standard. So this certifies our products and covers a range of speeds and vehicle weights to get that performance rating. That's been grown into IWA 14, which is the common standard now that we use as an international working agreement. And again, it's a crash test standard that gives you a performance rating for the product. And again, various weights of vehicles and speeds can be established. And kind of going back to your first question, it allows you to take that vehicle dynamic assessment and find products that fit that vehicle dynamic assessment. That's the industry standards. We've also got PAS 170, which is a low energy standard that we use. Right. And from an international perspective, we do come across the American standards as well.
There are some more questions coming in. Thank you so much for these. Hi, do you consider the effects of antisocial behavior by groups gathering or persons using your street furniture during the design process? And do you have any products that can mitigate against this?
Some of the products, when they're designed, we think about how they might be difficult to sleep on, for example. Okay. So quite a lot of our benches will put armrests in place. We also install things like skate studs along our benches and our planters to stop skateboarders enjoying themselves too much. So there's some of the things. We also try and look at gaps within products that might be considered suitable for passing drugs through, and also some of the timber elements in the products, if it's an area that's difficult to get to for cleaning. Again, you know, we would possibly try and discourage the use of some of our decorative elements that allow people to put packages and parcels in that make it difficult to clean, etc. So we try and consider as many options as we can, but they're certainly new ones every day for us. But yeah, it's a problem, and anti-graffiti coatings and things like that as well on some of the products.
We certainly wouldn't include any component within our products which could be easily lifted out and used as a missile or used as a weapon. So everything is secure and fixed.
So a lot of consideration, obviously, then that from what I'm hearing, it goes into the design process from a number of different standpoints. Thank you very much indeed. Here's a question at the top at the moment. Why is street furniture, with the rabbit's ears here, as per the text, why is street furniture being preferred to the traditional barrier and bollard?
Okay, but traditional barrier and bollards will always have their uses in the right locations. The issue is when they're used unsympathetically, then they start to look obtrusive and overly fortify our public spaces. Also, we've seen in lots of our towns and cities that barriers and big concrete bollards are sort of sometimes put there temporarily, but they end up staying there for a very, very long time. Our view is very much that we need to make pedestrians feel safe, not scared, and overly fortified barriers and steel, barriers and big concrete bollards, they make people feel anxious, and they can actually reduce footfall and inward investment. Street furniture blends perfectly into our public realm, and it creates a functional need as well as a crash-tested rated product as well. There's no reason why we've got to overly fortify our public realm as much as some places have. Indeed, research suggests that the public want to feel safe, but they also want to go about their business without feeling anxious.
Have you seen a rise in hostile vehicle mitigation barriers and products in recent years? Obviously, there've been some incidents, horrible incidents over the last few years. So have you seen a rise in those products from your side?
Yes, absolutely we have. And terrorists aren't going to go away. It's very, very important to develop means of combating those with evil intent by solutions that they can't easily recognize. So our anti-terror solutions will never really manifest themselves as being anti-terror products. They're just there in the public realm, and terrorists don't know that they're there. But yes, we have. Unfortunately, terrorists aren't going to go away, but it has resulted in year-on-year growth for really the last 5 or 6 years.
Okay, we are almost out of time, so I'm going to do some quick fire questions if I possibly can, try and get through as many of your questions as possible. So do you supply to projects outside the UK?
Yes, we do. We've got offices in Dubai and in the USA as well.
Okay, we were just talking about hostile vehicle mitigation. How do the cost implications for permanent and temporary HVM measures compare?
Okay, permanent measures are obviously much more expensive because they're going to be there forever. Temporary measures can be acquired on a hire basis, daily, weekly, monthly, and therefore are much more cost effective if the product's only going to be there for a short while.
Of course. Listen, we're bang out of time for now, but Roger, Jazz, thank you so much for joining us. If people want to find out more, have a chat with you, if they've got any questions that we've not been able to get to in the last 10 minutes, where would you suggest they go?
To the Marshalls PLC website.
Super stuff. Listen, everyone, thank you very much indeed for joining us today for this IFSEC Tech Talk. We've got so much more coming throughout the day, every half an hour, apart from a merciful break over lunchtime. But we'll be kicking off again in 5 minutes' time, hearing from Monitor Reel. But for now, please do show your virtual appreciation to the Marshalls team, Roger and Jazz. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a lovely rest of the day.
Yeah, you too. You too.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you.